All right, everyone. So Rikishi spoke out on Jey Uso, the bloodline as a whole. Here is what he had to say.
About, I tell you one thing, man. I got hairs on the back of my neck every time I watch it. Not okay. SummerSlam. Where is he? Let's go. I don't know. Let's write him in that he likes mommy. Mommy. That's the best that those writers got. Let's write this guy into a relationship with mommy. What y'all trying to do? Break his marriage up? Y'all can't put him in a good storyline. So what you gonna do now? You know, God forbid you guys try to tell him or tell her tongue kiss each other on Raw. That better not happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's so much that, when it comes to the bloodline, man, this is what gets me like going. This is why I tell the bloodline, when people talk about the bloodline, oh, we tired of the bloodline. You can be tired all you want for a few years, right? But we've been going through this for 75 plus years. Right? You don't think we tired? But we the type of people, we tired, but we keep coming back. We keep finding solutions, not excuses, solutions. And the solutions need to be the best you can be in that squared circle. Otherwise, if we're not over in the squared circle, move us out.
I was just going to say that. Aren't you pretty much telling others to step up, be better than you?
100%. 100%. If you can put asses in seats, if you can knock those merchandise sales out, if you can bring up WWE's revenue, TKO's revenue, if the bloodline is not that anymore, I get it. I get it, y'all. Go ahead and just knock it then. But you cannot knock the bloodline that's been holding professional wrestling company as WWE on their backs for the last 4 to 5, 6 years now. And they still holding it without the main guy there. Who's the main guy? Roman's mother Reigns. Come on. Y'all can write that. Write that because when he does come back, oh, you better have enough armored trucks to fill up that bank account for WWE. TKO. Have enough. Because this man here is just going to sell out everywhere. Everywhere and anywhere throughout the world that WWE puts him to. Right? That's not to mention the Usos when they come back. That's not to mention maybe another bloodline member. Possibly may be able to drive up in a black Lincoln. I'll leave it at that.
So he's talking about, some backlash to some of the bloodline. I don't think that necessarily that same kind of animosity towards it is there, right? I think there was a time with Roman Reigns that people were a little bit upset with him being the head guy, but now as soon as really this bloodline thing started, right, the storyline itself started, that became different, right? Everybody kind of likes the bloodline now. Everybody's super hyped for his return. So I think I don't really know where all that came from. I don't think there's as much, kind of hatred for the push as there maybe once was. I think now people are like, yeah, the bloodline's perfect. This is a great storyline. We want to see it through, and we want Roman Reigns to come back to, fight the current bloodline. But I think his point with the Jey Uso booking is right on the spot. And I'm not even talking about necessarily the thing with mommy or any of that. I'm just talking about how he's booked overall because he's in this weird spot. He's in this weird spot where he's now on his own. He is as over as you could be. The fans love him. He comes out. People are, yeeting left and right. And so he's clearly, loved by the fan base. And yet we don't really see what is his next move here. How is WWE capturing his popularity? Putting him in these weird matches, having him come close to winning Money in the Bank. It just doesn't really mean much, and I think that is right on the money. Now, we talked about the current state of WWE is a weird one because there is so much talent all around. So certainly, there is pretty tough, it's tough to break through and kind of into these title matches and all that other stuff because there is so much talent, but Uso should be up there. And so I don't blame Rikishi for being mad about that. Like I said, it's not necessarily just this, Rhea Ripley stuff. It's more just overall. It's like, okay, Jey Uso comes out, the fans are pumped, we're all excited about him, and what is he doing that's really all that important on the show? And you're like, not much, right? At least when he was fighting against the Bloodline, you're like, hey, that's kind of the big deal. That's what he's fighting against, right? He's fighting against the Bloodline. But then once he kind of got past that whole thing, he fought his brother at WrestleMania in a match that he even said was pretty disappointing for himself. I think they were going for something big, but it just didn't land. Now, what is he doing? And now, look, there's an opportunity here if Roman Reigns returns for this all to come back, right? There's an opportunity for Roman Reigns to return to take on the current bloodline and Jey Uso and his brother to be along with Roman Reigns and kind of start something, a rivalry there to try to get back. But once again, even in that, he's not going to be the main event portion of that, right? And yet, popularity wise, t-shirt sales wise, Jey Uso is a main eventer. So I think WWE has to be careful they don't ruin this. You can't force them into spots he shouldn't be in necessarily, right? You can't force a good rivalry, but at the same time, you got to make sure you capitalize on what is such an important character, such a popular character, and to have us actually kind of see him doing something really, really important. And honestly, obviously, I get what they did with Drew McIntyre, and we kind of defended it. The getting the Money in the Bank and cashing it in right away and then losing it because we realized, hey, it's because of CM Punk's injury. They have to keep the rivalry going. But if you truly were going to waste it in that way, you could have just given it to Jey Uso as well and figured out a way to kind of make that work, right? Then he's someone who now is constantly in the back of everybody's mind for a potential championship shot at some point. But we'll see what ends up happening here. But it's hard to disagree 100% with what Rikishi's saying because I think they've done a very good job of building his character, but they haven't done a good job now of kind of taking the character and moving it up a level because there's no room right now. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.